Somebody passing some by, letting some time pass by. SMR, bro. Smirk. Smirk.
Most cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum rely on cryptographic algorithms such as ECDSA for securing transactions in wallets. Quantum computers, with their ability to perform calculations much faster than classical computers, could break these algorithms by solving
ECDS. I should know this shit. Oh, elliptic curve. I'm like, what?
Yep.
Because I'm studying.
elliptic.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yep.
My bad.
By solving the underlying mathematical problems such as the discrete logarithm. Yeah, logarithm. I don't know what that means, but that I said it right. Logarithm problem, which is very hard for classical computers. So yeah, it says that it could propose a threat. And blockchain systems, public keys are exposed when transactions are made. If a quantum computer can deduce the corresponding private key from a public key, it could allow unauthorized access to wallets or manipulation of transactions.
Yeah. That asymmetric is supposed to be one of the safest forms of encryption. But if a nigga gets your private key, none of it matters. Like, they can pretend to be you. They can get access to your stuff. That's like that real identity theft. But yeah, man, it's sounds like it has the potential to do some damage if put into the wrong hands.
But on the other hand, it's probably safer than what we have now, which is like cash. Because like shit, if it could break crypto, then what the fuck can it do to your bank account now?
Right. And that's regular, like social engineering, getting like your password and stuff.
It's
That's
been happening.
oh yeah, oh yeah. People get access. I mean, you get someone's credit card number and it's a wrap. You get the front and the back of their
Literally.
card. Like what? It's over with. Like it's done, bro. And how many times do people be like, "Hey, can you say your card number over the phone?" You feel me?
Yeah,
Like, oh, give me your 3-digit pin, bruh. That's all you need. And then at that point, you see money get stolen, and then they can just, I don't know. Banks become responsible when it comes to credit cards, but when it comes to your checking account,
it's rough and it's hard to get your money
yeah,
back.
it's rough. It's rough.
All right, bro.
All right,
Ready
you
when you
ready,
are.
man?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of Investors Playbook. As always, you got your co-hosts Deshaun and Cornell. And today, as we get closer to wrapping up the end of the year, me and Cornell, we just been doing a lot of research, man. What are we gonna talk about going into the next year? What stocks are we gonna be looking at? What are we gonna add to our portfolio? And what are some of the topics that we want to bring to you all? And upon Cornell's research, he found a really amazing topic. All right. AI is here to stay. What it needs is a lot of energy. Artificial intelligence is a 24-hour monster that consumes a lot of energy so that we can use applications like ChatGPT, like Canva, like Clyde. All these artificial intelligence products are running nonstop, and they're in these data centers that consume, consume, consume. So, with that, we have found that a lot of these big companies, Microsoft, Google, are turning towards a new power source. They are now looking at using nuclear energy to power artificial intelligence. Cornell, what's your thoughts, man?
Man, it's crazy. When I even thought about like nuclear power being used, that just sounds crazy to me. Cause when I think of nuclear energy, I think of like bombs and stuff like that, things going off and the apocalypse, zombies coming out of the ground.
For real.
But now that we're about to start using this for like utility and everyday, use, and to advance our technology, I feel like this is about to make things so much more futuristic. As we all know, like computers are already doing amazing things, especially like when ChatGPT came out, and now computers are able to think in a very swift way. We're able to pretty much get ideas from AI. We're able to alter emails. We use it for the smallest things and we use it for big things. Like where they have Project Sora where you're able to do text to video. So it's crazy things happening. I'm just wondering, like, with AI advancing so fast, and as AI develops more, it's only going to get faster. And basically, that's what we're looking at with this quantum computing. So now that we're about to start, powering this with nuclear energy, I'm just excited to see what it looks like, but I also want to see like how safe it is for the consumers that are taking part in this.
Definitely. Man, so after we had our conversation the other day about nuclear energy and us transitioning to this new form of energy, I started doing research and I realized about 20% of the US's electricity is already coming from nuclear power, bro. 20%. So it's not as new of an energy source as we thought. I think what has happened is, like you said, when people hear the word nuclear, they automatically get turned off. They think of, nuclear bombs. They think of nuclear reactors erupting and going crazy and people getting sick,
Yeah.
radioactivity, zombies. You know what I'm saying? So, so I think that the word nuclear power just sounds dangerous.
Right.
But the more research I do, the more people are saying how safe it is, how it doesn't cause emissions. It's not going to destroy the ozone layer. Um, it's like one of those with great power come great responsibility type things. Like
Mhm.
nuclear energy can definitely cause havoc, but if used properly, it can be used as a very green and safe energy source. Um, yeah, and like you said, we are going to start needing a new form of energy, a new form of electricity, because the demand for artificial intelligence is only going to increase. All right. And more companies are going to start adopting AI into their company. So it's not just going to be, it's not just going to be consumers. It's going to also be companies that are going to use AI for their employees so that the employees can do tasks using artificial intelligence. Um, so yeah, I think this could be a foresight to what we're going to be seeing in the next 4 to 5 years. And with that, even more research has done. Microsoft has taken a big stake in nuclear power. You remember 3 Mile Island? I say that like it's just common news, but do you remember 3 Mile Island?
So I do remember 3 Mile Island, but I was not really educated on what happened with it.
Right.
But
So
I
3 Mile Island was a a nuclear power plant in Pennsylvania. Um, Around like the 1970s, they had built a couple of these, but this one in particular had a meltdown in 1979. And since then, 3 Mile Island was pretty much shut down, abandoned. Nobody wanted to touch it. That was almost 50 years ago, 45 years ago, roughly. Microsoft has now signed a 20-year deal with Constellation Energy. Those are the ones who own 3 Mile Island to reignite the nuclear power plant at 3 Mile Island. 20 years. So over the next 20 years, they're going to be refurbishing, they're going to be updating, and they're going to be using the nuclear power plants at 3 Mile Island. What's up?
So let me ask you something. So
Mm-hmm.
with something like this happening with new energy, well, you said it's not new, of course, but I know that we're needing more of it. Do you see this as an investment opportunity in any type of way?
I definitely see this as an investment opportunity. So this is one of those try to. This is one of those buy the news kind of things. Like this deal has been signed already, right? Microsoft has signed a 20-year deal with Constellation Energy. You have other companies called there's another nuclear power plant or nuclear energy company called NuScale, and rather than creating nuclear power plants, they are creating mini nuclear reactors called SMRs, and their SMR stands for Small Modular Reactor, which is basically a nuclear reactor that you can build at a facility and then send to whoever needs it. So when you have companies like SMR or NuScale and then Constellation Energy being bought by Microsoft, and again, just all these tech giants that are going to be needing all this electricity. I mean, this includes the microprocessing and microchip companies like NVIDIA. They're going to also be needing a lot of electricity and a lot of power.
Right.
I see this as a opportunity, man. Like this stuff is now being realized by the big companies saying we don't have enough electricity. Nuclear energy was one of those safe things. Why did we stop messing with it? Let's tap back into this resource and see what's going to happen. So, yeah, I think that it's definitely something to look into, definitely something to keep your eye on. But I personally think that it could be a good investment. What about you?
So when it could, yeah, I think that this is because I think it would be ground floor. You see what I'm saying? Not complete ground floor, but like with where AI is about to go, I think that this is the beginning for
Yeah.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, do you see? So, what type of investments would you make in something like this? Do you see yourself playing options, or do you see yourself holding shares long term? Like, what strategy would you use in this type of situation?
I honestly see myself doing both because when you look at New Scale Power Corp, ticker SMR, it's currently at $21. Since January, it's up 572%. 572%. So, like you said, it's not ground floor, but I think this is the beginning of something that's going to turn into a definite, well, not definite, never say the word definite when it comes to stocks. I can't, say
Mhm.
what definitely is going to be and what definitely is not going to be. But I feel like the likelihood of nuclear companies rising in the near future is probably going to happen. So I see myself purchasing options that are going to be maybe like 2026, somewhere
Mhm.
around there, and then just buying a couple shares. New scale again is at $21. So to people that's cheap. It's all about the percentage gain, but that's something that people feel comfortable getting into. Right? Oh, it's just $21. I'll buy 2, 3 shares of it. You know, Constellation Energy, on the other hand, I think is a bit higher because it's an older company. They're at $239,
Right.
but still up 100% just today. I mean, since this year.
Yeah, this past
So
year.
yeah, man. So
So would you get into both quantum computing and nuclear energy, or do you feel like it's safer, one is safer than the other?
I think both of them are going to be a really good investment, right?
Hmm.
So with artificial intelligence, with the increase of this movement to technology, you're going to need quantum computing to do things like create encryption algorithms because just like with anything that has a lot of power, quantum computing can break encryption. So, like that's the one thing that they said can break really strong encryption is quantum computing. So
Right.
you're going to need that quantum computing to create encryption that's strong enough to withstand quantum computing. And not just that, but also just how fast we want this technology to move and we want it to grow, or how fast we want artificial intelligence to think. Like machine learning and I mean, I know that that's not exactly the same, machine learning and artificial intelligence, but the desire to want artificial intelligence to learn at a faster and faster rate, you're going to need it to be able to compute at the rate
And
of quantum computing. Go ahead.
and I think that's scary, man, because when you think of things like how banking is becoming more, digital. We're kind of straying away from like the physical money and even crypto because like with the blockchain being riddled with encryption.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like when you have things like this, it can open us up to more scams, more manipulation when it comes to transactions, just fraud in general, and just theft.
Yeah,
Because with our technology advancing, the it's going to make the criminals it's going to give the criminals more efficient tools also,
exactly, bro.
which can be scary.
Yeah. Have you ever used a cold wallet?
I have not.
I have one, and when I bought it years ago, just
I
because
remember.
I thought that it was like the safest way. I gotta look back into it and see, is that the safest way? Like it's basically on a drive, right? Like in my house. It's not on a computer. It's not like it's
Right.
data that's sitting on a drive that has cryptocurrency on it. That I think could be a safe way.
Mm.
You know what I mean? They can't break it, and if they can't reach it, you know.
Right.
So that might be something. Um, and I know that I'm seeing that a lot more, like on social media, with this talk of cryptocurrency and the rise of it. People are pushing cold wallets. So yeah, maybe that could be a safe way. You
Yeah.
can't. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's an idea as well. But no, you're
That,
definitely right.
that's valid, man. That didn't because I forgot about that because that was a big thing. How they were saying not your keys, not your crypto and stuff like that. Put it on that. Yeah. That. Yeah.
Yep.
I like that idea, man.
Hmm.
So, and I know that you said that you're going to look into it. So, are you definitely seeing yourself putting it into a cold wallet, or would you trust like these businesses like I know Fidelity's doing crypto, just not in my state. I'm not. Are they doing it in your state?
I haven't seen it. I don't think so.
So with a big name brokerage like Fidelity, would you trust something like that, buying crypto and not using a cold wallet to store or do you just feel like we shouldn't trust any of these brokerages?
I think you should trust the brokerage as far as its user agreement goes. If it says that it's secured up to a certain amount of money, like if it's FDIC secured for $500,000, go ahead, put $100,000 of Bitcoin in there because if it gets taken, you're good.
Right.
So as long as there are things in place with the brokerage you're in, like in a bank, it'll say if your money gets stolen, you are FDIC secured up to $500,000. So ain't no biggie if you got $499,000 in there and someone breaks into it. Because according to the, it might take a minute, but you know what I'm saying.
Right.
According to their user agreement, they are should put that money back into your account. They
Right.
they
Because
they are promising that it is secure in their bank, and if something happens to it, they'll replace it. So I think up to that point, it could be good to use custodial wallets like Coinbase, like Fidelity. Um, Now it starts to get a little shaky when you start to think of other random wallets that
yeah,
aren't FDIC secured. You know what
yeah,
I mean? So because it's a lot of ledgers out there that just like people just lose money because yeah, like there were a lot of scams going on when it comes to cryptocurrency back
for
then.
sure. Yeah, and then like even now, a lot of these places don't have efficient customer service. So
Mm-mm.
even if they do have you insured, like try and get in touch with somebody on Robinhood.
Oh
It's
yeah,
difficult. Try and
yeah,
get in touch with somebody on crypto.com or Coinbase. It's difficult. So you got to also take that into account. But Fidelity, I've never had an issue with getting in touch with somebody on Fidelity. They're 24/7. So I feel like customer service is a big factor in brokerages that I use regardless of what's going on. So I think that it will be the same for me when it comes to crypto because I know whenever Fidelity allows me to buy crypto on their platform, everything's going to Fidelity for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. No, that's real, man. That's definitely real, bro. But man, I'm telling you. Oh, I didn't ask you. Um, when it comes to quantum computing. Is that, you think, something that you plan on investing in? Because I mean, I feel like we should definitely have an episode just talking about that too, right? Like this one, we talked about nuclear energy and how that might be the next big, or the resurface of nuclear energy, and how that might be the next thing in the next
Yeah.
coming years. But what do you
There,
think of quantum?
when it comes to quantum computing, there were two that I was looking at. I was looking at RGTI.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in the past month is up 400%. So that's
The
what was kind
past
of
month,
past month, 30
it's
days. It's up 407%. So that's what had me a little weary. I wanted to buy into it on the Friday that just passed, but it was up 19% on that day. So I was looking for like some type of drawback because it's a fairly cheap stock. Market cap is 1 billion, which means that there's a lot of room for growth,
a lot of,
and the options are fairly cheap. You can get a option all the way January 2027 for like $300 a contract.
mm,
So I was looking into that. I would like to get in. I think I am going to buy that contract. I hope that I see a dip when the market comes back open, and we'll see what happens. But I also want to get into that nuclear, that SMR that you were
yeah,
speaking on. So
yeah,
I know that I'm definitely going to buy options on those two, looking for drawbacks, and then I'm in, man.
nice. Yeah, man. I think something else. We got to see if there are any ETFs for this sector, like a nuclear power ETF or a quantum computing ETF.
I saw a quantum computing ETF, but it didn't.
It didn't move as much.
Nah, Robinhood, yeah, it definitely didn't move as much as the single stocks. You know, that's never gonna happen. But it did raise 100% for sure. But
Mm,
it wasn't supported on Robinhood when I
mm,
was looking for an option. So I would probably get into an ETF on my Fidelity,
yeah,
and yeah, see what happens there.
there's two I'm looking at now. VanEck Uranium and Nuclear ETF is NLR, and then
Yeah,
Range Nuclear Resistance ETF is Nukes, NUKZ.
Nukes, that sounds crazy.
Yeah, 26% and 42% respectively. So again, not as good as New Scale, which is up almost 600% over since
Right,
year to date. But that's how ETFs work, right?
right.
There's automatically diversifying and
Hmm.
putting money around. So some of the stocks in these ETFs are not going to be doing as good as others, and that's why
Right,
you have a decent, return. So
right. Balance.
balanced return, exactly. But man,
Yeah,
hey, the next couple years are about to be exciting for sure.
yeah.
Um,
Make sure you're in place, man. That's all I can say. Because
yeah,
there's a lot of things going on, and you just want to make sure that you're not putting all your eggs in one basket, and that you are putting yourself in position to take advantage of a lot of the opportunities. Because
mm-hmm,
there's a lot out here with crypto going crazy. You know, Bitcoin is people are expecting it to make way more strides than just this. You know, it just hit 100,000. People are saying that it could go to 200,000 before we get to the next crypto winter, which is where all crypto tanks, which is done in the past.
yeah,
Um, and also we have AI, which is going crazy. We got quantum computing going crazy. We have nuclear energy going crazy. So just make sure that you're not missing these opportunities and stop being distracted because there's a lot of money out here for sure.
nah, facts. Just to echo what Cornell said, man, I think that one of the biggest things that can affect people is not having that money ready because they've used it on something else. Opportunity cost is real, people. Like knowing that something is going to go, or having an inkling that something is going to grow and not even being able to get into it because you don't have the capital is
Mhm.
a trash feeling. It's like you just watching and saying, I wish I could have put in, but I didn't. So start stacking your coins now, man. Like investing is a long term strategy. All right. Don't think that it's going to be some put money in and take out double tomorrow, but it is something that you can grow with, right? You're building your investing portfolio. That's what we're doing here. So yeah, man. Nah, I think that's it, bro. That was a good way to wrap things up. We named a bunch of tickers. All right. So if you missed any of them, rewind. We'll probably add them in the comments as well so that you all can do your own research on these companies. Check out what Microsoft is doing. Check out what Constellation Energy is doing, NewScale, quantum computing companies. We're going to have them all in the comments so you guys can check them out as well. Yeah, man. You got anything else for him, Cornell?
No, I think we're all good.
For
Staying
sure.
consistent.
For sure. For sure. All right. Well, look, appreciate y'all. As always, for tuning in. We got the Facebook group. Make sure that you all join. Come join the conversations. We got, we coming into 2025. What are your plans for 2025? What you got going on? What type of investments are you going to make? Did you hit your 2024 goals? Something to talk about. And yeah, if you are enjoying this video, like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend. Teach them something about investing. Point them to Investors Playbook, All right, cool. And with that, man, we're going to say peace to y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Later.
Peace.